Hello, my friends, SUNO. The time has come for some experiments in SUNO Studio 2.0. For those of you that are looking to play in SUNO Studio 2.0, you want to have one of these or one of these, a keyboard that has a MIDI output, USB MIDI or something similar. This is an Arturia, and I actually will show you some of the keyboards that you can get at Guitar Center. Hello, my friends. I know a lot of you are curious about the SUNO Studio and you're wondering which keyboard you can get to play with it. Well, let me just walk you through some of the keyboards that are here at Guitar Center. There's the Mini Lab 3 Arturia, $119. Not a bad keyboard. Just got 2 octaves though. If you want something that's more than 2 octaves, you can go for the 129 Key Station 49ES. Remember, these are MIDI keyboards. They don't have sounds in and of themselves. But when you plug this into SUNO Studio, you can use the sounds that come with Studio. Here is the Key Lab Essentials. This is $249. So if you're comparing value, if you're a beginner, you might want to go for something on the lower end, except you know about some of these. I have something from Arturia that's around this size. This is $69, not a bad one. And if you come over here, there's some additional ones. Launch Key 49, $279. This is about 4 octaves. And the bigger you go and the bigger the brand name, the more expensive. $279 for the Novation FL key. But honestly, if you want something that's just low cost to get started, there's nothing wrong in getting this $69 keyboard. This Microlab, I've got one from Roland that is like this, similar to this, and around the same price. So you can also go on to azexperiment.com and look at some of the keyboards I have there. Maybe you find something you like. That's my Amazon affiliate store. But I recommend starting not too expensive, probably something in the 100 range, like this. This is the M Audio Key Station, $129. See? That could be a good starting point. And the really cool thing about SUNO Studio is because you're already familiar with the brand, all you need to do is plug it in and play around and just test out the functionality. But I also have here my DGX 670, which is more like an intermediate keyboard, if you will. But it's a great keyboard that will enable you get the goodness into SUNO, right? The goodness that you have in your head, transfer it from here into SUNO. So I am going to be showing you an overhead view so that you can see what I'm doing on this keyboard as I'm playing. You're going to see me putting all of this stuff into SUNO Studio right here. So without much ado, let's go to SUNO Studio. You have the ability of clicking on this notification here. Studio 2.0, be a control freak. Own every note, knob, and detail with MIDI custom plugins and more. Obsession is the whole point. And you can just tap Try Studio and it's going to open up SUNO Studio for you. Another way of accessing Studio is on the left in the panel. So when you get into Studio, if you want to open up a brand new project, just click on those 3 dots. And I'm going to take this slow because I know lots of you have never been in here before. Go up here, click on those 3 dots and hit New Project. The screen will now change to this. And you want to click on New Empty Project. And I'm going to show you step by step how you can record and get all your vocals and instruments in there. Okay, so step number 1, we are going to record a sound to this first default track, which is audio. And before we get into that, let's just rename this. So let's hit rename and let's just say Studio 2.0 demo. Okay, The best way to follow along is to actually do. So I'm going to be going very slow, okay? Now, when you are here, you need to find your microphones. And the way to find your mics is to click on the arrow, this down arrow. So click on that, and it's going to find all the possible mics that are connected to your computer. I probably have about 4 or 5 microphones, 4 or 5 different inputs. I have my keyboard, I have my wireless mic, I have my USB mic, I have my 2 cameras, one in front, one overhead, and they all have microphones. And that's why I have so many microphones here. Okay. So I am going to click this microphone AI wireless, and that has selected my mic. The next thing I'm going to do is hit A for arm. I'm going to arm the track, like set it and get it ready. You see what I'm pressing over here? Let's zoom in real good. All right, you see the A for arm. We want to arm the track. So arm it. It's now red. Okay. Next thing you want to do is activate your metronome. Activate your metronome over here. And now that you've activated your metronome, as you're recording, you will be able to hear the click, click, click. How do you set the tempo for your metronome? Well, over here on the right-hand side, let's make it bigger. On the right-hand side over here, you see 120 BPM. I can click on that and I can manually adjust like so. Click on the negative to go down to a lower tempo, or you can just type in your tempo, 90, or you can also tap your tempo. So I'm tapping. So it's around 90 that I want. So I'm going to take that, and you can either do follow track where your tempo fluctuates, or if you want like a steady 120 or 90 or whatever you select, just go with this. All right, you've done it, close it, and now you want your cursor to be all the way here. You see this blue cursor? You got to double click so that it starts at 1. See that? Let's make that bigger. Do you see the number 1 here? And this is so actually a little bit funny because we normally have a 0 point, but that's okay. So we're going to start at 1. And we also have the ability now, which is very cool in Studio, to decide the count in. So we can choose to count in like 4, 3, 2, 1, or 8, 7, 6, depending on your readiness. So let me show you how to do that. So this is kind of tricky to find. You have to hover over the red dot for record, press that drop down arrow and select count in. You want to have count in at least, to get ready, 1 bar. So 1 bar is 4, 3, 2, 1. And we could also work on the latency. I'm not going to touch the pre-roll. The latency seems to be okay for me. And the way you can test this out is, I guess, by recording first and seeing what happens as far as where it falls on the timeline. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and hit record, and it's going to count in 4, and then I'll begin. And I'm going to be playing on this. All right, let's go. Got to be cool. Got to be collected. Got to be cool. Got to be collected. Got to be cool, got to be collected. All right, let's stop. Now we're going to find out how good the latency setting came off, or also how not so good. So we're going to wait for this to render, and I'm going to find where it sits on the timeline. It usually lags behind just a little bit, and I'm going to find that, and I'm going to adjust it on the timeline accordingly. All right, seems like my audio got cut off somewhere. Oh, it didn't. There it is. Okay, so let's see. Got to got. Okay, I should probably turn this off. Turn that metronome off and take the audio down. It was very loud. All right, let's check it out. Got to be cool. Got to be collected. So you see it's a little bit off. So this has to be moved forward, and I could probably get the latency setting to be better, but hold down the control key on your keyboard as you try to line this up, and you'll have better results and better success as you try to do that. All right, so let's see if it aligns. Be collected. Got to be cool. Got to be collected. Got to be cool. Got to be collected. Okay, so that works for a first sketch. And if you followed along and sang whatever you wanted to sing, at least now you have something on your timeline, which is really cool. And now that you have something on your timeline, you could add to it. Like I can hit add new track. See, I'm going to hit add new track, and I'm going to this time choose MIDI. M for MIDI. You can also type M on your keyboard, and it will add a new drum roll MIDI track. That's pretty awesome. Now with the MIDI track, we're going to use our keyboard to play along with what is being sung. So again, I am going to hit this drop down arrow. Look carefully. This is where it gets a little bit interesting. Okay, so this drop down arrow over here, click on that, and we are going to find the MIDI device that we want. And the MIDI device we want is the Portable Grand 1, because that's my keyboard that I have connected here. Remember in the beginning I told you I've got this overhead. I'll be showing you what I'm doing here. So what I'm going to do is put in the Portable Grand. Okay. And now we can make this smaller. And let's test out the Portable Grand and see if it's actually coming through. So we've got the MIDI track selected. So you can hear that sound is from SUNO's MIDI. And we're going to find a good instrument that we can use. So it's actually not too bad. I think I can work with that. Yeah, yeah. The latency isn't too bad. So let's arm it. That's what we're going to use. But how do you actually select the instruments that you want to use in Studio 2.0? Well, there's a gazillion ways you can do things in Studio, as I've discovered. But for me, like down here, let's make it bigger. All right, look carefully, my friends. Okay, down here at the bottom left, you have this plugins icon, you have an automation icon, you have a clip editor icon, and you have a take lanes icon. Right now, we're going to hit that plugins icon. When you hit the plugins icon, let's make it smaller. It comes up with this section on the screen, as you can see over here. And my computer's moving very, very slow, so please bear with me. It's doing a lot of things at once. But you want to click on simple keys. And when you click that drop down arrow, you can find a number of very interesting sounds. So this is simple keys. This is, and let me just show you overhead so you can see I'm actually playing. And so on and so forth. A little bit of latency, but not too bad. Alien insects. As you can see, if you click and select whatever you want, digi slap. Slap bass. And so on and so forth. So it's good to know that those are there. I'm experiencing some huge latency issues because I'm trying to record on the same keyboard that I am on the same computer that I have the keyboard connected to and the cameras connected to and the recording. But it's all good. All right, so now that I've selected my sound of choice, yeah, let's use DigiSlap for this first one. So I'm going to go ahead back to the beginning, and I'm just going to remember the song so I don't have too much latency, and I'm just going to play the song on the metronome. Let's go. Okay, so that's my bass guitar part. Okay, and then I'm going to add another track for MIDI, and then I am going to choose simple keys, and I'm going to mute this, and I'm just going to go ahead and play because it seems like when there are many tracks playing in studio, it seems to eat up a lot of my computer's resources, and my computer starts struggling. So I need to remember what I sang and what I played, and then just lay each track on top, at least for now, until I can get a computer that is a lot quicker, because I think I'm going to need 24 gig for this, maybe 32 even, for it to run a lot properly. This is just 16 on this particular computer. So let me go ahead and arm it, and let's go ahead and play. So I'm going to play some piano. I'm going to pan it slightly to the right. Those of you wearing headphones, you'll see that you'll hear me panning it. All right, here we go. B, All right, so we've got our bass, we got our keys, and we got our vocals. And honestly, my friends, with that, we can do a whole lot of good with that. A whole lot of good. So, my friends, right now we have 3 tracks, and I'm going to show you how we can transform each one of these tracks into something more polished. So, for the very first track, we have a vocal track, and I'm going to give this a command to do something different. So, with this selected, we're going to give it the command to change this vocal into a more polished sound. All right, so next we are going to do a cover of this one, the male vocal. So I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to click on the AI chat. Let's click on that. And here I'm going to give it a command to keep the lyrics. Keep the lyrics the same, but cover this with a new male vocal. And I guess we could say harmony just to keep things simple. And here on the right hand side, there is a drop down where you can actually see the lyrics. For those of you who are curious to know how to see the lyrics, here at the bottom right, if you click on info, those are the lyrics that you want to keep the same. So it's got to be cool, got to be collected. Got to be cool, got to be collected. And because I was playing a little bit of piano as I was singing it, it seemed to have put that piano in, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and just prompt and see what SUNO will give us instead of my original vocal. So what you recorded is always there. You can always find it in your uploads. So there's really nothing to worry about. You can always go back to whatever was there. Let's give it a few moments. So looks like it's cooked now. Created 2 new male vocal harmony takes across the selected 12-bar section, preserving the existing lyric phrasing. The first harmony take is previewing on the track. So let's listen. I've made it solo so we can check it out. Got to be cool, got to be collected. I even copied the piano. Got to be cool, got to be collected. Got to be cool, got to be collected. So we're gonna put Suno's editing to the test, and we're gonna say keep only the male vocal and take out the piano sounds. Let's see how well our producer holds up, because we're giving it a command to not only stem separate, but to just take it out completely. So you can see it understands the command is separating stems. So without me having to click and, right click and choose all the stem separation options and then remove the piano, it's doing it all on its own. So as you can see here, we have wave lead vocal, and I think that might just be the piano here. Let's see. Let's see what this one is. Okay, so that's just the piano. Uh, yeah, so we don't want to hear the piano. We want to hear just things. Got to be cool. So that's my original vocal. So let's see what it has done up here, if it has done anything different. I think it might have just kept what we did. Let's listen. Got to be cool. Got to be collected. Okay, so it didn't do it on the one that I was hoping. It's possible it may not have understood well enough, but I am going to do the same for this, and I'm going to make this the main one now. I'm going to drag that up. Now, That's pretty remarkable because what it did right there was it took my original vocal, stripped out the piano. Ooh, got to be collected. And that piano that I played is not there. See that? Not there. Got to be cool. Got to be collected. So all that stuff is not there. So it's done. Got to. So it's got done the stem separation for me. So what I'm going to do right now with this selected, actually watch this. Let's say name all my tracks something easier to manage and remember. Hit enter. It is so helpful to be able to tell the producer, I just refer to this function as the producer. It's so helpful to be able to tell it to do something, and it does it. So it says rename all 5 tracks for easier management. So there we go. And it says lead vocal. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to say same prompt I gave it before. Keep the lyric the same, but cover this with a new male vocal harmony. Hit enter. And therefore, this original one, I can get rid of it. These 2 can stay. And also, this one is not needed, so I'm going to get rid of it. This, the instrumental, well, it was really just a piano by itself. That might actually be helpful, come to think of it. So let me take this down, and we might be able to use that for a different instrument, just to create some fun with it. So it says created 2 new male vocal harmony takes over lead vocal, preserving the original lyric. So let's play it.
Got to be cool, got to be collected.
All right.
Got to be cool, got to
Okay.
be collected.
Doing too much now.
Got to be cool, got to be collected.
Okay. It still couldn't help itself. It had to put in that piano part. Well, I don't want that. Let's take that out. Let's delete that. So we got our lead vocal. That's fine. And now we're going to work with the keys. So we're going to select the keys, and we're going to say replace this with a funky rhythm, guitar, chunky, and sweet. All right. So again, Suno understands what to do. It is going to try to make this a funky rhythm guitar. Now, whether it will succeed in making it sound really good or not is to be seen. Because if it's not able to do it with MIDI, I might just very well tell it to do it with audio instead. All right, let's give it some time. All right, there it is. Let's listen to what it created. Okay, so let's undo that. Well, I guess I shouldn't have. Let's do this. Let's get rid of this. And let me select it again, and I'll just say replace this with an audio track. is a funky rhythm guitar. Okay. So I've told it specifically that the track that I want is audio. Nothing in the selected area on this track to transform. The selection must cover a source performance. Hmm. Okay, let's see what's going on with it. All right, so it seemed to have a little bit of confusion, but it's come to its senses. So let's listen. Let's pan it.
Got to be cool, got to be collected.
Okay, so that's sounding good. So if we just leave the rhythm guitar and the lead vocal, we'll get a good idea of what this sounds like. There you go.
Got to be cool, got to be collected. Got to be cool, got to be collected. Got to be cool, got to be collected.
So it's a little bit off the count. So I'm going to have to center it properly. So let's see where it is getting lost. It should be right on the beat. So let's trim it. So I'm going to trim it. I needed to commit it first to the timeline. Now I can trim it and I can take this back to 1 and hopefully it will make sense.
Got to be cool, got to be collected.
So we can move it around a bit. Okay, let's
Be
listen.
cool, got to be collected.
All right, next we're going over to the bass, and this is what it sounds like. So something you could do is double click on your waveform, or I should say your MIDI notes, and just play them. So you see that this is a little bit too early, and I can move it around so it's on the right beat. So it should be maybe closer. If you hold down the control key, it's easy to move it around. So I could actually ask the producer to tidy this up. So what I'm going to do is give it that command. So I've got it selected and I'm going to say convert this into a 6-string punchy slap bass uh, with uh, depth and high and precision. I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to go ahead. And hit send and convert this on a new audio track. I'm going to hit enter and and it's creating a 6-string slap bass, but not MIDI. I want it audio, and that's what it's doing. So it says created a two 6-string slap bass audio takes. So it's converted it, and it's right there. And let's go back to the very beginning, and let's put this on solo, and let's listen. Okay. Let's hear the second one. Wasn't bad. Okay. It's not bad, but I think one is okay. One is better. It's not as busy, so we're gonna go with that. And all of these MIDI ideas, I'm just gonna drag them down. And now, after I have muted the MIDI bits and bobs, let's hear what this is. Okay, that's my original lead vocal. So yeah, we got the bass, we got the guitar, we got the male vocal, and I think here we got the instrumental, right? So I'm going to say this is for keys. So I'm going to change this into, convert this into an electric piano, Rhodes, rich, lush sound. And just gonna hit enter on that and give it some time to cook again. Here we go. So I said I couldn't convert the selected audio into a Rhodes part because the new MIDI track lacks a compatible electric piano instrument. So just say use any electric piano with byte. And hit enter. I should have probably given it better instructions and told it make it a wave file, audio file. Doesn't have to be MIDI, because I think it's trying to make it MIDI, and it doesn't have to be MIDI. See, it made it MIDI. You got to tell it. Okay, so I'm going to say undo what you just did and replace with an audio Rhodes take. All right, so it's reverted back to the audio, and this part we probably won't need it. Let's go ahead and mute it. It's a little bit different from the way you would work in Studio One. There's more flexibility, but these things also take time to be able to manipulate and use them. Nonetheless, still awesome. All right, created Rhodes electric piano audio. So you got to tell it that audio sound as opposed to it being, you know, because it thought I wanted to make it a MIDI sound again, which was not the case. All right, let's listen. Let's solo it in here. So it's kind of gone rogue. So I'm going to say follow the chords and feel of the other tracks and redo this. And I'm going to just unmute everything else so it's got a better idea. Let's do that. And let's see if it can create something that just fits in, you know, with everything else. Doesn't have to be exactly what I played. All right, created Rhodes as 2 audio takes. Let's listen. A little bit off. Let's hear the second one. That's better. Second one's better. Much better. All right, let's get the guitar now. Back to the guitar. And you know, we can actually just loop this. Just so you know, you can always loop in Studio. Let's use a loop button. Let's get the guitar.
Be cool, got to be collected. Got to be cool, got to be collected. Got to be cool, got to be collected. Got to be cool, got to be collected.
Needs a little bit of tidying up.
Got to be cool, got to be collected. Got to be cool, got to be collected. Got to be cool, got to be collected. To be cool, got to be collected. Got to be cool, got to be collected. Got to be cool, got to be collected. Got to be cool, got to be cool.
So we have to kind of tidy this piece up. Seems like there is some unnecessary stuff here.
Got to be cool,
So what I just did was selected everything and drag it back to 1, just so that I get my bearings straight as far as where the song is. All right, and it should end at 12 exactly. So let's see.
Got to be collected. Got to be.
Yeah, oh, something like that.
Got to be cool.
Yeah.
Got to be collected.
So it's a little bit wobbly as far as the exact timing is concerned, but what I'm going to do, the last thing I'm going to do is add one more track and make it audio. And we're just going to call this drums. And before I do the drums, I'm going to make sure I duplicate this over a few bars, just so that I have the drums play as clean as possible. So I'm doing duplicate, and it's Control D for duplicate. So I'll do 4 of these, and here for the drums, I'll just say select the place on the timeline. I'll say create an urban jazzy relaxed funky feel playing on the back beat from time to time for this drum track. I'm going to hit enter. It already knows it's an audio track, so I don't need to do too much more. Hopefully this will give me what I'm looking for. One of the things that I've found with Studio is, except I'm doing like a straight start to finish instrumentation recorded in SUNO without much stopping, I usually find myself needing to take this still back into SUNO proper to give me a more finished, cohesive, integrated sound. So let's check this out. Let's see if the drums brought it together.
Got to be cool. Got to be collected. 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 Got to be cool.
So there's a little bit of overlap of the rhythm, and that's okay, because really what I want to use this for is a cover. So what I'm going to do is export. I'm going to hit full song, and on hitting full song, I see this link. All I need to do is click on it and follow it back into SUNO proper. So now I'm in SUNO with the various models that I have available to me right now. And I have the option of creating a more cohesive finished song by giving it an even more cohesive prompt. So I can say, go to the dots, remix, cover, and it's going to go straight to where I can begin putting in more information. My computer is very slow. All right, now with all that done, I have some favorite prompts I use. So I'm going to go into my voice collection. I'm going to look for one of my original female neo soul voices. And I'm just going to say keep the lyrics current. But what I wanted from Lorna, this voice that I use, is something that will bring a little bit more of my signature sound to this. And then as far as the styles, let's see. I should have actually said yes because that's what I was looking for. So let me do that again. It's more of the voice. So let me go to voice. Let me find Lorna. And I'm going to say overwrite because I do want to overwrite the style. That's really what I'm looking for. Okay. So I have a very characteristic style. So I'm going to say breezy, male, and female. Neo soul vocals. Okay. Now I can bump this up a little bit with confidence. And I'll just say, gotta be cool. And I think we'll give it, I'm going to insert a sax solo here. So I'm going to put in an alto sax solo right there. And I'm going to put in semi-acoustic guitar solo. All right, so we're pretty much done. And I'm just going to hit create. So gotta be cool. Let's go ahead and bring this to a close by bringing all the elements together in a cohesive whole that will give us something that we can vibe to. All right, let's listen. So I wanted it to be more like a duet. Let's see what it does. Here we go. Oh, did you notice my mistake? I immediately noticed the artifacts, so I used 4.5, and 4.5 has some really nice things about it, so I'm going to leave that, but I'm also going to prompt with a 5.5. So I'm going to say uh, version 2, and this is 5.5. All right, let's do that as well, and let's keep listening to this. Not bad.
Got to be cool, got to be collected. Got to be.
Not bad. Let's compare that to 5.5. Oh, you can already tell. You can already. Oh, yes, sir. Yeah. Check that out. Yeah. That's what it's all about.
Got to be cool, got to be collected.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Got to be cool. Got to be collected. Got to be cool. Got to be collected. Got to be cool. Got to be collected.
Hey, those ghost notes on the bass.
Got to be cool. Got
Oh,
to be collected.
yeah.
Got to be cool. Got to be collected.
Yeah. It's all right. I wanted a sax though. Yeah.
To be cool.
That's the feel.
Got to be collected. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Got to be cool. Got to be collected. Yeah.
That's it.
Got to be cool. Got to be collected.
Yeah. Oh, no, you didn't. You're sick. Suno, you're ill. Oh my goodness. Listen to that. How dare you? Oh! Went to a major seventh. Woo! It's terrible. Woo! I cannot believe it. Ah, what? Who would have thought? I wouldn't have even thought about that. They just went to that sublime. Ah, what on earth was that? I'm looking for that chord. That is ridiculous. Oh my gosh. That was wild. I'm telling you, you can learn some things from this AI. This is a song I wrote. It's actually been released like for the past 3, 4 years, and it's called "Gotta Be Cool." And I have my guitar player on that. I think I have my sax player on that. Shout out to Manuel and Andrea on that track, but they kill that track. But this is another version of it, you know. And shout out to my vocalist out of Argentina. Anyway, so if you want to listen to the track, um, this is it. Gotta Be Cool. And Manuel, Andrea, and Natalia, my backup vocalist from Argentina, she killed it. She killed that song. So check it out. Check it out. But anyway, let's listen to the second one. I think this is it.
Got to be cool. Got to be collected. Got to be cool. Got to be collected. Ooh. Got to be cool. Got to be collected. Got to be cool.
Okay.
Got to be collected.
Love the horns. Yeah.
Got to be cool, got to be collected. Got to be cool, got to be collected. Got to be cool, got to be collected. Got to be cool, got to be collected.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that wasn't bad. And the original was in C minor. This was on E. And yeah. Now, let me play an even wilder version. I believe this featured on one of my releases. Same song, Gotta Be Cool, but this is version 4.5. It gives it an offbeat kind of timing. Check it out.
Got to be cool,
Sour.
got to be collected. Gotta be cool, gotta be collected. Gotta be collected. Just like that. Gotta be collected. Just like that. Gotta be cool, gotta be related. Gotta be collected. Just like that.
So there you have it. There's so many ways you can produce these songs, but my friends, over the past number of minutes, we've been unraveling. My computer's so slow right now. I know my vocals are definitely too far ahead of the picture. The picture's struggling to catch up. Over here we have a door room. I should call it a mini studio. We have a mini studio, and here we have the SL73 Studio, which is a nice keyboard in and of itself. And this is going for $399. But all of this setup is pretty much what SUNO Studio presents to you without having to do so much for the gear. You know, you can go with a tiny little keyboard, and perhaps something else you could get if you're just starting out that I would recommend is a decent microphone. Go to your local guitar center, check out what they've got. We've got a mic section here. We've got various mics. The SM58 never goes wrong. Look for something that is low cost, low risk, because you don't want to spend a whole lot and then drop your precious microphone. There are also some pretty decent ones up here. $199 for the Warm Audio WA47. You know, really depends on what you want. But for you as a beginner, you might actually just look for a USB, good old USB mic on Amazon, and off you go. Because if you get one of these mics, you have to get an audio box to put it through, which could be problematic for a beginner. So maybe just look for a great USB. I know they've got some Audio-Technica USBs. Start off with something like that. And of course, you also want to get yourself a good pair of headphones like this, right? I use the One Audio brand, but there are many other great brands here. I also have one of these Audio-Technicas, so that could be something else you go for. Okay, All right, my friends. Well, that's pretty much it. That's all I've got for today. And I wish you all the best in studio. If you got any questions, let me know. Okay. Good night, Tom. See you. Night. Bye. Cheers. Bye. All right. So, my friends, that's it. Let me know if you have any questions about studio. I'm going to be playing in studio this weekend. And for those of you that want a keyboard and a controller, you could also look out for the Go Keys 5. Goes for $449, or the Go Keys 3 for $359 thereabouts. I have a Go Keys 5. It's a great keyboard, very portable, lightweight. It's fun to play. And you can actually play it without being connected through MIDI to your DAW or to SUNO Studio. Okay? You take care. Talk to you soon. But anyway, we had a good time in SUNO Studio. We created a track, which we then took into SUNO proper to cook it and make it all integrate. And there you have it. I hope you enjoyed it. If you got any questions, let me know. A lot of times the bells and whistles of 2.0, I don't get as involved with it. I'd rather just take everything to a DAW that I'm more familiar with and manipulate it from here. But this is a great place for scratch pad ideas kind of stuff. All right. Thank you very much for joining me. Now let's walk through my philosophy, my workflow. Number one, record the vocals, or you could start with an instrument. My second step was to begin adding the instruments, bass, guitar, keyboards, whatever. And then you can use AI to clean and shape the sound. You then proceed to generate additional instruments using the power of generative AI. Combining that, as you saw, I connected my MIDI keyboard and I created both the bass and the keys with my MIDI keyboard. But don't forget, you can always use the power of generative AI to bring in instruments that SUNO will give you. I then took the demo, like the entire thing, mixed it down, like very rough mix. I panned a few things to right or left. I didn't even get involved with EQ because my goal was not to create a final product from Studio 2.0. My goal was to use Studio 2.0 as a sketch pad. That is not to say that you cannot create stuff entirely in Studio 2.0. Of course you can. It will take longer, but what I like about the addition, number 5, step 5, is to take what I create in Studio into SUNO proper, version 5.5, or whatever the model ends up being, whether they call it 6 or whatever the models end up being, right? But you can take what you do in 2.0 and then you can hyper iterate them. Listen to various options. Like I played for you a few options from even before there was 5.5, and you heard my version of 4.5 when I did that same song. And that's step 6, generate iterations and sit back and listen. And where Studio 2.0 is really strong, Studio 2.0 is good for idea assembly. Where Studio may, in my mind, have certain limitations is when it comes to that final polish and the integration of the ideas seamlessly. I find that SUNO proper does more of what I can consider as a finished product. Timing in studio can be difficult, and that's why, live playing like the piano, it can help anchor the track, but then it also leaves you with having to balance out all of these things. And the producer in studio, I haven't given it the challenge of mixing down or, mastering for me, but I'm sure it could help with that. But the end goal is for me to use studio for building a concept and to use SUNO version 5.5 or 6 or whatever the model name will be, I'll use that for stronger generations and a more convincing, all-encompassing mix and final result. I have an example of using SUNO Studio for release. I had a bebop track called Early Bird, and I quite enjoyed using SUNO Studio to, I first played the piano and then I built the band around the piano. It was very, very quick, over 200 beats per minute plus. It was a real fun track, and you can find that and listen to that on my page on YouTube. But anyway, thanks for joining me. I hope this made sense. And as always ask questions if you have any. Like and subscribe. See you next time.